Okay, welcome to the Matt and Chance Show.
Oh, me, oh my. Welcome back to the Grind Time Podcast. The hard work's being brought to the light today, and I got my boy Chance on here.
Yes, sir.
You know, one half of the TNT group, one of the best realtors in the state of Middle Tennessee.
Oh, I don't know about all that now.
I will say that all the accolades and awards y'all have won over the last couple of years would say it too, I will say. But also a good friend of mine, somebody that's been a part of this journey of the grind from the very jump, like early days, like literally us, Olympus, those were the beginning times. So I had to bring him out on here and everything.
Man, I miss Olympus.
Oh, yeah, we all do. Everybody does.
Sean's still the owner, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Sean, if you're watching this, you need to bring Olympus back to Shelbyville, please.
I think he's moved on to just one gym. He enjoys that more. That's one of the things we've talked about a little bit here and there. It's like, bro, good times, good, everybody that went there, like everybody knew. If you went to the Olympus in Shelbyville, you knew it was the spot, even though like there was things. But
the Mecca of the South. Mm-hmm. Is it just the underground gym now?
Yeah, it's just the underground. He's down to just the one. He enjoys it more. He can actually be there because majority of the time when I pull up, he's always there.
Yeah.
So he's like, yeah, one place to call home. But, oh, me, good Olympus days. I miss him.
I miss him too, man.
Well, we'll bring it back, Grindhouse. Hey, you never know. But let's hop right into it, Let's get on to the very beginning, We'll go way back before even us at Olympus and tell some backstory of you, like being brought up or all the different places. Like I know more about you than everybody else, but you've lived everywhere.
So I've been everywhere, man. Been everywhere. What was that? Willie Nelson song? Willie Nelson song or something like that?
I'm not the one to be asking.
Okay. Yeah, I've been everywhere. So I lived in Murfreesboro until I was probably 7. Moved back to where my family is initially from, which is Fayetteville, Lincoln County. And lived there for a while. Then we moved to El Paso. Well, let me jump back. I actually lived in India for like 6 to 9 months. That part. Yeah, I lived in India for a while. That was an experience. I was 8 at the time, and I learned some things on how life is for others.
Okay. Very multicultural you have been. I mean, that was a whole experience right there. Is like not too many people ever get to go, and here you are living there for a little bit of your life.
Yeah, it was kind of wild. They had, I guess we were considered expats or something like that, and they had like guards with like machine guns, just standing guard inside the hotel.
That's wild.
And we rode around in like rickshaws, I think they're called, little 3-wheel vehicles. It was an experience. So I lived there for 6 to 9 months. Then we moved to Fayetteville, which is where my roots are from.
Mm-hmm. Where I know you from mostly.
Yeah. And then from there, I went to 2 different schools. I've been to like 11 different schools before I ever graduated high school. And went to a private school called Riverside Christian Academy. That was different. I'll say that.
I bet.
I enjoyed it. And then I lived in El Paso, Texas. I want to say 6 months for there. I lived in Kansas. I don't know if it's Kansas or Missouri. It's Junction City, wherever Junction City is.
Was it like right on the border or something? Like,
I think there's a weird little spot that is Kansas and Missouri, so it might be on the border, but I think some people talk about like different cities that are actually not in Kansas or something.
I can see that. I mean, it's just like going like to Chattanooga. You go right through Georgia to come right back into Tennessee.
Yeah.
Like it's like, what? Okay, all right, cool, whatever. We're in there for a minute.
And then I lived in Canada, and I'm trying to remember the name of that city. I think the city was called Nova Scotia. Yeah, I lived in Nova Scotia for 6 months. Then we came back. It's not in order or anything. Then we moved to Shelbyville. I've lived here since 2008, I want to say, and that's where we met.
Yeah, early about that time. We met What? I know we had a picture from freshman year together, which was hilarious. That I was like, I didn't even know you was in the picture until we started looking back at said picture with all of us in the hallway
Yeah.
freshman year, which is priceless. But also, like, we'll talk on that. Just like that was an experience. Like, here you are coming over here just for the 1 year. Like, I'm like, I never saw him again, and now I know why I never, because you didn't want to go to freshman academy.
Yeah, I don't really like Shelbyville schools. I mean, it could have been just because I moved so often that I wanted some sort of sense of stability.
Oh, okay.
And so I went to 8th grade here. That was Harris.
Yeah. Harris and Liberty, because those became one.
Yeah, so I jumped into some program where I went to Liberty. I lived in the city, but I drove to Liberty. And then 9th grade at Central, and then after then I went to Lincoln County High School.
Yeah, because it was like I saw you, and then I didn't, and then I didn't see you again until we started running into each other at Olympus.
Yeah.
So like, you want to tell the people a little backstory about then and stuff like that, like at the time while you was up in the gym and stuff like that, because I mean we all had the same goal, but
What do you mean exactly?
like, like losing weight and everything else, like that process, like us being young and hungry at it and all the stuff we learned.
Yeah. So I think it was sophomore year going into junior year. We really did get on that grind.
Yeah.
We went to Olympus and like murdered all of our workouts. We would work out for an hour, hour and a half. That was back when I could drink caffeine at 5 o'clock and still go to sleep.
Good times, man.
Good times.
Those days are past me. Like I had that surreal moment and everything else. Even talking about it with Danny on hers about like, I had a whole gram of caffeine in one day, and I was still just tired the whole time.
Man,
like
a gram of caffeine is crazy.
I know it is. I'm like, bruh, it didn't click to me until after, and I started doing all the math by the end of the day, and I'm just like, yeah, this is not okay. This is not normal at all. Yeah. But me being in this field, it's somewhat normal to most people that work out a lot like that, and that's actually taking it as their job or in the industry. It's like, yeah, we just drink caffeine all the time out throughout the day and stuff. Because I'm like, I used to crack jokes about I can drink an energy drink and then go to sleep. Like that's not okay.
I don't think I've ever been able to do that since high school. Like after high school, I stopped being able to drink caffeine after like 12 or 1 or 2, depending on what kind of caffeine I'm drinking.
No, I remember trying to stay up all night on a Modern Warfare 3 release. I had 2 rock stars, drunk both of them, and I was still knocked out by like 3 a.m. Like we played for several hours, and I'm just like, bro, I'm tired. I'm going to bed. And I'm like, literally drunk both of them then, not hours ahead or nothing like that. Like it was like after midnight I was drinking them, and I was still asleep by like 3 or 4 a.m. It was just wild. But yeah, like the good Olympus days, like we was out here really making our own pre-workouts. Like
yeah, we were. Yeah, that we made our own pre-workout and felt like we were on Breaking Bad or something.
Right. Like if anybody would have walked in and saw us doing what we were doing, we'd probably been front page of the paper. Or
yeah, like I think I still have a picture of us doing that.
I feel like either you do, I do. We might have it in one of our group chats or something like that. Like,
if you can, I don't know if you can, but put it right here for the audience to be able to see.
Right here so they'll see it. It could be the whole screen. Like they're gonna see that picture, but it's like people don't understand. It's like when you actually want to do it and stuff like that, you'll look into this stuff because it was a lot cheaper.
Oh,
and when we could actually put what we wanted into the pre-workouts. And I feel like a lot of people now that hop in the industry literally just, what's the biggest brand and hop with them and not actually look at what the ingredients are.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm learning a lot of the new people don't do. It's like, we did the research. Like we put in the actual time. We actually found out stuff, researched stuff, tested stuff. And a lot of these kids nowadays just want to hop in, do whatever so-and-so said because they're their model, idol, role model or something like that, and they just follow it. And it's just like, no, if you learn this stuff, it's a whole lot better in the long run.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, you got to be educated on what you're putting into your body and everything like that. I mean, there's some crazy stuff that can go out there.
Yes, there is wild stuff out here. I still can't believe how much beta-alanine you was putting in yours. To be honest with you,
I like the tingles. Yeah.
I'm not for the itchy
That
booty
skin,
hole.
that skin crawling feeling, that's from the beta alanine. That's
Itchy booty hole is what I call it.
and now
That's
now
what that feeling.
I don't get an itchy booty hole. I don't get nothing like that. It's all my skin is itching. So
But yeah, like, so we all were linked up. There was like a whole group of us and like literally getting there around the exact same time, always working out together and stuff. It's like looking back at those workouts, man.
dude, we were overworking ourselves, but like at the same time not.
Yeah.
Like I guess we were able to recover so much quicker.
Yes. At the time, I mean, it was perfect combination of how much we put in and actually followed programs and stuff like that too. Like, us being that young and everything else really helped develop. And that's why people look at me and it's like, I've been doing this for 10 years. I didn't stop when we started then, really, besides when I tore my meniscus. Like, I literally took 3 months
When'd you do that again?
That was what? It was after high school, I know. So, like 2016, 17, somewhere in that range. Like 18, something like that.
Yeah.
And I took maybe 3 months off. Was like the longest time I've taken off from the whole weights and stuff like that. I mean, I'm just now finally getting good with my diet over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And that's been the hardest thing. And I'm like, seeing you and Colton going at it, and I'm just like, I got to pick it up. I got to pick it up. I can't have my boys out here just leave me behind when we're all doing this together.
Well, you went through a pretty good stint for a while.
Yeah, I mean, I was hard about it where I would tell people, no, I'm not doing that, eating that, going out really, and I would only go eat out once a week and stuff like that, and no fast food for the longest. And I got so locked in that once I finally actually like took a break and experienced life again and stuff like that, it's hard to get back into it. That's what I'm struggling with now, I would say the most, because I was locked in and I was seeing all the results. I was taking all the pictures.
Yeah.
Every little vein would pop out and I'm just like, yep, there goes a new one in my leg. Let me go ahead and snap a picture of that real quick. I ain't going to post it, but I got a lot of pictures of different body parts of me just randomly in my phone. But yeah, like, so we'll move forward, and then it's like got to college and everything else. That was a nice thing, and it was like me, you, Colton for the first couple of years, and me and you finishing it on out and stuff. And I'm like, that helped me a lot. Like you and your mom and all that. Like, I feel like that was the biggest role in me, like actually sticking with it. I would say, like, how was your experience on that side of things with us going to college and everything else? Because it's like, I'd ride with you, you would ride with me. It was like we had the perfect little duo of schedules.
That was an interesting time. I know, like in high school, they always said like it's going to be harder in college. Mm-hmm. I felt like it was easier because then we could actually like breathe a little bit.
Yeah. Because I mean, like we got to set our own schedules, and everything else. And if like there's classes we all could take together, we would take them together. So it was like, oh, I know who's going to be in this class. At least I got one or two of my boys in here.
Yeah.
Like, but I felt like it was. I did have to learn how to study because I'd never had to do that in high school. That was one thing I did have to learn how to actually study and stuff like that. But it wasn't that much harder. It just felt like it was more work and more like just busy work a lot of the times.
Yeah. I'm doing my MBA right now.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, after having, how long has it been since we graduated from MTSU? 2019?
Yeah, 19.
So having a 4-year off and going back into that environment, it's kind of crazy. Like
that's what I want to know, because me, it's like I want to sit down and get my personal trainer's license, but right now it's been hard to just sit down and actually get back to doing schoolwork again.
It's nice to have a little bit of structure. Now, I don't have as much structure as others because real estate's an evolving world.
Yes.
And it changes. Every day is something new.
Most definitely.
So having a little bit of structure added into my days is actually kind of nice. I mean, it's crazy because, like, I'm staying up. It's weird because I'm staying up to like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, solely just to go on to school work, and I'm spending my weekends doing that. So
wow,
it's fun, but not at the same time. Like I have a hate-love relationship with it.
I get that. I feel like that's why I kind of need to go ahead and just do it and help build that structure back in. Because I mean, when I was doing all my weights and stuff like that, it would literally be get up, go work out, come home, stretch, make food for the week, knock that out on like Monday, and then have my food for the rest of the week. Mostly, like majority of my meals. It wasn't even all of my meals I would make, but like literally majority of my meals would be made then. I would have a good time doing it and everything else, but it was always just getting started. Every now and then it would take me all day to get them done because I just procrastinate. So I feel like me getting back into doing this soon will give me
I'll tell you right now, I'm still procrastinating with my schoolwork. That didn't change. I'm getting it done the night before or the night of is whenever I'm getting some of my projects done.
Yeah, I deal with that with Austin. And then also, I mean, I didn't help the other night, keeping you on COD the other night, me and the boys.
Yeah.
I did not help that situation, but I'll definitely be hopping back into the schoolwork side of things so I can get
it's helpful to have like mental stimulation, having some intellectual stimulation. I mean, reading books is fine and everything, and that's slightly structured. But having courses where like there's a full-on long-term goal that you're going for that someone else has kind of set up for us, it's kind of nice.
I can see that most definitely because it's like since school it's been just doing what I want to do and everything else, and I kind of need to bring that back in. And it's like it's not something I wouldn't enjoy. It's like it's not something I don't already do. It's like I'm already out here doing the training. I'm out here doing this stuff, and it's like let me just learn the actual terminologies and all the nice vocabulary for these words and exercises. And
and you never know, you might learn something that helps you optimize later down the road. Once you get it, like no one can take that from you either.
Oh yeah, very true. I mean, like, that's one of my favorite things. I mean, that's what, like in my Instagram bio, your greatest weapon is knowledge.
Oh yeah,
like, it's just the one thing nobody can take and everything. And I've always enjoyed learning more and stuff like that. And it's like over the year, like this year in general, like being with Ruck, like I've got to go into circles and rooms with these people that have been doing it for decades in the top of the industry and stuff. And it's just like, yeah, I'm just going to sit here and be quiet and just sit here and listen. Like I got 2 ears, 1 mouth. Just listen. If somebody asks you something, then you speak.
Yeah.
And I've been doing that a lot more with it and stuff. And it's like, it's truly just a blessing. Like,
so what have you learned being in those environments?
Like I've learned how like some of the new like the top coaches do things, from that to like your diets and how like just small details they are with it and everything else. And it's like even with like Ruck's new coach, like him instantly being with Ruck less than a year and stuff like that, and him working with his other partner, like finding out like, oh yes, this and this, that's probably what's wrong with you, where some other coaches he's been working with for years haven't got to the bottom of that and everything else. Like, yeah, we need to go, you to get this test done and this test done, and we'll probably be right on the spot with it and stuff. And sure enough, they were like spot on without any of the tests done yet. And I'm like, that is one of the biggest things in how they just manipulate food and their food and everything else, like all leading up to the shows and all that. And it's just like seeing that is like, wow, that's crazy how much of a difference one little small thing will make in the long run. And then it's like, but me also, I'm like, wait a minute, I got to back it up because I don't need to be that meticulous with it right now. Like I'll get to that point if I actually do a show, but right now it's just like, hey, reel it back in, just keep it nice and simple. Don't play it too smart. Like,
I'd say that you definitely need to get your personal trainer's license because most of the stuff, and having that additional mental stimulation, I feel as if that would just make you cream of the crop in the fitness world, at least here in Tennessee.
I can see that. I don't get me started, Chance. I'm gonna get a little ego here, like that. No, but it's like, it's like it's not like I don't know all the right people, the other people to talk to, and it's like I already that guy in the gym everybody comes to for advice.
Yeah,
I can't hide from it. That's why everybody talks to me and be like, "Hey, am I doing this right? Am I doing that right? Should I do this and this?" And I'm like, "Well, do this, this, and this, and then start with this and all that." And it's just like, I really enjoy it, and it's really a nice feeling though that people come to me instead of the actual trainer there and stuff.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, most definitely. So like we'll run it right back on now. So we finished up the college and everything else, and then I want to talk about the times you get into music real quick. Like the Beats by Toon days. Like me watching that was
dude, I still get calls.
That's wild.
Like I wasn't like popping in that field. I didn't put enough time into it, but I still sell beats sometimes. And I think I got like a notification. So like in that field, I sold beats for artists. I would record artists. And then I would also make beat kits, so I could sell kits to producers. And just like 2 days ago, I just got notification someone was trying to get in without paying for it. They were trying to get into my Google Drive. Like I got like 3 notifications that people were trying to get into my Google Drive to get this kit.
That is wild.
So sometimes I'll just open up my PayPal and I'll still have new sales. And it's a happy day because I'm like, dang.
Right. It's like, oh, wait, free money.
Yeah. So I don't think I've made like a beat that I've put on the market, I'd say since college. So since like 2018, 2019.
That's wild.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think about. And then but I was going to go from the perspective, like, I watched you go from like knowing nothing to like almost everything about making beats in less than like a week or two. Like you were locked in.
I don't know if it was that quick, but I do be locking in.
That's what it felt like, Chance, because if I called you or anything like that, you were sitting in your room watching another like 3-hour-long video at like 2 times, and I'm just sitting here like,
I do like a 2 times speed on them YouTube videos.
I was just like, I don't know how he does this. Like right now I'm lost and I'm still thinking about what he said about 10 seconds ago, but really that's 20 seconds ago because it's in 2 times. Yeah. And I'm just like, yeah, this ain't me.
I put my schoolwork on 2 times.
You sure did, slick, accelerated. That is priceless. But I was like, watching you learn all that and everything else showed me like how different you were from most people. Like most people say they're going to do it and everything else and they'll slowly do it, but you dove straight in. They went deep on into the rabbit hole and started figuring it all out and everything else. And I was just like, I want to give you props for that because that was quick. Like how fast you did get in from knowing nothing to what you all knew and started to make beats and everything else. And like, I mean, I need to see if we can still find my one little beat that I made that sounded like a Christmas song. Because it really did sound like a Christmas jingle.
Hey, I mean, get Gucci Man on there for his Christmas albums.
Hey, you might be the next viral song right there, bro. Watch out. Hey, Gucci, holla at me. we got to find it first, though. But yeah, like that time, that showed me and everything else. So like to me, seeing what you've done in real estate doesn't surprise me because I saw that work ethic then. So for everybody that's wondering, like, Matt made a mistake and should have hopped in real estate with Chance.
I tried getting him in it.
You tried to get me into it. Your mother tried to get me into it, and I should have got right into it with you. But let's start with there. What changed your mind on that and everything else? Because I mean, she was in it at the time. Daryl was in it at the time and stuff like that. And it was just like you thought about it, or what was it? So
Daryl, my stepdad, he was a retired military guy. Mm-hmm. He was in the Air Force for 30 years. And when he got out of the military, he decided to go into real estate. I don't know what drove him to get into real estate. Mm-hmm. So he was doing that for a few years. So I've been around it for a while. My sister worked in the office before then. While we were in college, my mom got into it. She's always been corporate America. And she got into it and she was quick with it. Like she sold some houses within the first like 6 months of her being licensed.
That's crazy.
That's almost unheard of. Mm-hmm. And
especially not what like actually being a part of a crazy team or something like that that's already developed.
But we didn't have the structure for a team. Mm-hmm. Honestly, if we went in there and did the structure for a team, we probably would have been able to jumpstart even further.
Yeah. Because I mean, I've already seen what y'all done with that. So but continue.
So my mom, when she was in it for that 6 months, we were still going to MTSU, and she had just said, "Hey, Chance, like I think you need to get into real estate. Like I think you'd be good at this." And I'm like, I don't know. Like I was going for information systems, so I was planning on being like an IT guy,
right? Just be in the background or whatever. See you,
yeah. Maybe some corporate America. I really don't know what I was doing. And whenever I got licensed, 2017, November 2017.
I remember that day.
Yeah. I started selling houses pretty quick. I didn't sell anything in 2017. I mean, that was 2 months. But I think I sold like 6 houses my first year.
Sounds about right.
And the national average, if you don't know, it's only like 2 transactions your first year.
Oh, wow. Yeah, look at you.
So it wasn't enough to like
entice you to be like, yeah, I'm doing this full time.
Yeah, like then it wasn't then. And then the next year, I think it was 2019. I think I did 20 transactions. And then I was like, dang, there's some money in this. So that's whenever I started pulling off of the music side of things.
Yeah.
I don't know where I'd be if I was still doing music, but
Who knows? Because the connections you was already making and stuff like that was wild.
yeah, I mean, I sold beats to people. Then I was selling to people in Texas. I think someone was from Scandinavia.
Wow.
Yeah. They weren't big placements. They were just, I could sell the same beat to multiple people. I still sell the same beat to some people. But in that realm, you can sell beats and get full placements. So I didn't ever get a big placement. But I didn't really, honestly, hustle hard enough, I don't think, to break into that type of market.
I don't think you really had enough time to. Like, you literally started with the beats and then finally got to making the website and finally just really putting them out there. And then that was like almost boom. It's like real estate.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So it was maybe like a year of like commitment to music. And then in 2019, whenever I sold 20 houses, that's whenever I pulled off the music and bought a house in 2020. COVID, the week of COVID.
True.
And that scared the hell out of me because that was a period that no one knew if we were going to make money anymore.
Yeah, we didn't know what was happening. Like, that was any industry. Like, me, I was happy at the point, like, I didn't have any liabilities and stuff like that for my business. So it was a great time that I got to sit back and start working on the future for my business. So
Yeah.
it was a good time for me, which was a scary time for everybody else because it was like I was caught up on all my bills. I didn't have to pay student loans back and stuff like that. So I literally got time to sit back, create designs, find out what I want to do, what I don't want to do with my business. And like, I wish I could have took even more of an advantage if I'd known how long it was going to be. We was going to be on shutdown. Because if I'd have known how long that was going to be,
they stretched it out. They told us it was going to be like 2 weeks. And then
it was like 2-3 weeks.
2 weeks turned to 2 months, and then 2 months turned to 2 years. And
real quick in a hurry, bro. Just being stuck at home. And it's just like, if I'd known that with the gas prices where they were at, like we'd be in Nashville locked in the studio every night with the boys, and we would go out to work. So they can't get mad at us because we're out working.
Yeah.
Like, so it was like we could have created so much content and been sitting on so much stuff. I don't know where I would have been with like videography and stuff like that because I could have got the lock in with my boy HV. Yeah. Like, and I've picked up a lot of
That's Henry, right?
Yeah, that's Henry Young. Yeah, my boy. And I was like, I'm going to get him on here at some point. But I'm like, I could have actually picked up more from him because that's a lot who I've learned from the last couple of years, like doing weddings and stuff like that with him. It's like I've learned so much videography skills from. And I'm like, more time with him and the boys like that also like to really work and do their own thing. Man. But yeah, like you just got the house and that happens and everything else. And then it becomes what kind of market?
So I'd say for about 6 months after COVID, we hit a weird spot. Houses, I mean, we sold houses. I was hustling because I was like, I got a mortgage to pay.
Yeah, you got bills now, dog.
So
real.
We got to sell some houses. And ended up doing pretty good. The second half of the year turned out really good. I think that's when interest rates got down to low 3s. Yeah.
About that time.
And then 2021 sold enough houses that kind of felt like we could do more. And we hired a few team members and an assistant. I was kind of scared hiring the assistant, to be honest, but I knew that if we didn't, then we'd be limited in some capacity.
Yeah, y'all was going to get spread way too thin to be able to do as much as y'all were doing.
I think that we did 120 transactions that year. That was before like an assistant or anything.
So we went from 6 to 20 to 100 and...
I think I skipped a year there.
Okay.
I don't remember what 2020 was because that was honestly I could probably go back and look.
Yeah, probably so.
Yeah. So then we hired some agents, some great agents. Let's see, it was Hannah and Wes. Hannah's still with us. She's a rock star agent too.
Definitely.
And so that's when we started, was July of 21. July 2021. Yeah.
The TNT group.
Yeah, started the TNT group. I like AC/DC. So.
Dynamite.
Yeah. I grew up, my dad, he had us playing, I'd work out in the gym with him, listen to AC/DC.
There it goes.
Yeah.
He had you out here right.
Yeah.
He was doing the right thing at that time.
Man. Yeah, at that time, yeah. He's a good guy.
Most definitely.
Yeah. And then started the team then. And then I want to say 2021 was 120 transactions, I want to say. And then the next year was 191 transactions.
Moving on up there.
So we were moving some homes. Got something called torchbearers with Remax, which is like the top 40 under 40.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, got the trip out to Vegas. When that?
Yeah, the top 40 was actually the San Diego. Yeah. So I think that was the same year, I want to say. So 2022 March, we got to go up on stage. I think they called it like the Diamond Award, which is $1 million commissions paid out. That doesn't mean I made $1 million.
Right.
Yeah.
I already know that, but everybody else.
I didn't make $1 million. The team as a collective made $1 million. So we got to go up on stage for that, and then they brought us out to San Diego to just celebrate top 40 under 40.
That's dope. That's really nice. That's really creative and everything else from them to have y'all out like that. Because, I mean, that's a lot of work. Y'all put in a lot of work to do that. And, that's a lot.
Yeah. So, and then this year, the last time I looked was back in October. I haven't looked because of holidays and all that, but it was 181 transactions back in October.
That's really still a lot compared to where the market's at now.
Yeah.
Me knowing that, because I mean, I hang out with you. If you want to know why I know anything about real estate, it's because this man right here, like from the jump, it was like, calls about all the people and everything else and what he had to deal with. And a lot of that did scare me away
Matt's
a little bit.
been there for some crazy ones. You really have been there for some crazy ones, man.
Showing somebody over 100 different locations.
It was 50 transactions, or not 50 transactions. It was 50 showings, and the guy didn't know where he wanted to live. He wanted Clarksville, Murfreesboro, Manchester, and within like a month-long period, I showed him 50 houses. And I remember calling you like it was yesterday and said, Matt, I'm about to drive my car into this concrete wall here.
I don't know how I kept it together when you made that call. Did I keep it together?
I think you kept me together. That's for sure.
That's all that mattered at the end of the day. But I'm just like, how could somebody see 50 different properties? There's some real estate agents that probably don't even show 50 different properties in a year.
Yeah, and that was on the weekends. So, like, I didn't have a weekend, and I was driving 2+ hours because it was Clarksville, most of them.
Jeez, so much gas.
So much gas. Anyways, he's one of my favorite clients. Once I learned not to show a certain amount of houses, he actually taught me. Something I realized was that if we looked at like more than 5 houses in a day, they would run together, and you couldn't tell what we were even looking at. So when we were done, he was just like, Chance, I don't know what I want out of any of these homes. And he started describing them to me. And I'm like, wait a minute, you're putting houses together.
Yeah, they all started to blend. Yeah.
So after that, I created a rule that I don't do more than 5 showings for one client in one day. Nice. I'll break that rule occasionally if they're like, especially if I'm out of town or something. But even if they're breaking that rule, I tell them on the front end, hey, just keep in mind, like these houses, they're going to run together if we're looking at more than 5.
I mean, that's a great tip for anybody getting started too, right there.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
That's definitely a little
it's overwhelming whenever you're not in it.
I can definitely see that because, I mean, even me, like, half the time throughout my whole day, I can't remember all that I did, and it'll all start blending together. And it's like, who did I have that conversation with?
Yeah.
So I can see how that easily could, too, because then you're starting to blend houses that, this one's nice because it got this, but that was the second house you showed me, not the first one.
Yeah.
So I definitely can see that. You know, any other cool little tips? You know,
speak to a real estate agent when you're wanting to buy a house. I know that may sound biased.
being one, yes,
Yeah. But I think what's important is looking for experience
most definitely
with the agent. Don't just hire
Good.
your aunt, your nephew, your cousin. And I'll be the first to say a lot of my family hasn't used me. That,
True. Yeah, we did talk about this one day when I walk in the park.
and it's actually a good thing.
I can definitely see that because lines would get crossed and stuff like that. Where
Yeah,
it's like
it's hard working with family. And I remember there was a few transactions that I missed out on back when I started. Now, of course, they blamed it on my age at the time. And looking back on it, I actually think it was a good thing because if the house had some issues, I didn't feel like because it was family, they could blame me.
Right. We're like, oh, bro, come on now, just help me out and everything else. Like oh yeah, come on, bro. You know you got me. We family and all those kind of. You know, I know exactly what you mean.
And I don't discount my services, so I couldn't imagine having my family say, "Hey, like lower your price." I'm a full service agent. I'm a full service broker.
You exactly. You get what you get what you earn right there, and it's like you're gonna get the best, so you got to pay the best.
Well, I don't charge more than I don't charge too much of a premium or anything like that.
But I'm just saying, like,
I don't discount my services, so I don't leave money on the table for my clients.
Right. I felt that. You want the best for them and you for yourself as well at the end of the day. It's like this is your job and stuff. And I can also vouch on the whole real estate agent stuff too, because it's like me being the outside looking in, it's like I know a lot of the stuff now, but also like with just a little knowledge, I know I'm like it's the smarter move to do and it's less stress on the actual client. That's one of the biggest takeaways. Like they'll handle everything because, I mean, just been sitting here several nights and stuff like this. They'll call at like 10 p.m. And I'm just like, if that was me, this is why I'm not in real estate because you call me at 10 p.m. I'm not answering the phone. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, I got to be on call when people are on third shift, second shift. I got to be on call.
You're SOL.
Yeah.
Normal business hours is when you can contact me. And I'll be the one to first hit you up at like 5 a.m. But that's when I get up.
I've gotten better at setting boundaries with myself and my clients.
That's good.
To not work past like certain hours. But sometimes there's some clients that they just have to. So what I have to do, the good thing with running the team is I can pass things off whenever I'm starting to feel too much happening.
Oh, yeah. I mean, at the beginning, it was a lot of y'all overworking y'allself, I would say.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all was out here all day and night. I'm just like, hey, I got to take a little bit of a break for yourself.
Yeah.
And stuff too.
I mean, honestly, I don't think that happened till probably this year or last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I even did it for myself too, like with the grind and everything else. It's like everything was a part of the business and stuff like that. And I could not turn it off to a point. And it definitely hit. I can say it definitely hit me too over the last couple of years. Like, all right, I got to take a break. Let me chill on out.
Yeah, I mean, life can't be all about work.
Facts.
You got to be able to enjoy it too.
You got to take a moment and actually sit back. It's like I'm building a team and stuff like that, and now I need to actually just give them the reins and stuff like that to run with what they're good at. Like I know I have people for different positions like scheduling. I need to pass that on off.
Yeah.
I know there's other people that want to do videography. I need to pass that on off. So I'm not trying to control everything because at the end of the day, I won't get nothing done.
Yeah.
Per se.
So one of the things, the vision that I had for the team back when we started it in 21 was it's a slogan that we still live by, and it's do great work to live a great life. So it's always been part of the vision that I've wanted to cast for the team. So I feel as if it's really important to be able to keep that blend going.
Oh yeah, that's a little gem right there. That's a little dime, a little gem as I call them. You just drop right there for them. I'm like, but I get that 1,000% because I definitely have the nice people and everything else around me. It's like some people didn't, passed over them and stuff like that, and just like I don't know how they couldn't just see what they had right there in their hands and they just let it go. It's like, yes, not everybody's going to be the exact same and outgoing and stuff, but it's like once you get them right in their right field and stuff, and to open it up, and it's just like, wow, you had that right there the whole time and just didn't know it. And I've definitely seen that with a lot of the athletes I brought on. It's just like, got them out that little bubble and that shyness and stuff, and getting them out there and stuff, and it's like, okay, yeah. It's about to be something crazy now. Let me go ahead and get what I need done so I can actually start pushing these people out here more. And I'm like, this is one of the things right here, like me getting this started, having people on and just telling them about their life experiences, what they do and everything else. And it's like, I definitely wanted to have you on here because, yes, you are in the fitness industry. You know a lot about it.
I don't know enough. I don't know as much as you, Matt.
You don't know as much as me, but it's what I do.
Yeah.
So per se, that's one thing. But also, it's like, if anybody's been here, it's like knows about the proteins, the creatines, and the pre-workouts and stuff, anything like that and stuff. It's like, it's definitely you, because it's like you've been about this life too, on one hand, and also it's like you also out here doing something at a high level at our age and stuff like that. Because that's one thing I always forget. It's like, we're still in our 20s, dog. Like, we're doing all this stuff, and there are some people who don't start this until 30s, 40 years old, and they're just now getting their own thing going.
Everyone's on their same. They're all on their own timeline.
Mm-hmm. We all have our own journey. That's why I say, like, what season of life you're in.
Yeah.
Like the grind season, it's like, yeah, it's a grind, but what part of the grind season are you in right now? It's like, there's some people out here, it's like weights and stuff like that. Like, I'm trying to actually build my mental and physical, whereas other people's like, all right, it's time to get my business started and going, and it's going hard at that right now, even though I know they have a background in the weights and stuff like that. Like, everybody, I use that as a base. Like, anybody can work out and stuff like that, and that also leads to anything you do in life, like having that good schedule of working out and stuff like that.
Yeah, the discipline of actually putting in the work and
putting in the actual
going.
work and what it takes. Because like, once you see like, okay, it is more than just what you see on social media side of things, and that's what a lot of people don't see. It's like, oh yeah, quit worrying about what's on TikTok and everything else. Like, actually put the work in, and you'll build so much more for other fields of life. And that's one of the big things weights have brought to me, is like the discipline and just being able to go out and do stuff, is because it's like, I'm going to go in here and torture myself on purpose. Like, not a lot of people can do that. It's like going through that misery and the pain and everything else to get something they want in the long run, like that delayed gratification. Not a lot of people.
Dude, I love delayed gratification on everything. I feel like it can be put out anywhere else in any factor of life. It doesn't have to be just working out. I believe that that's a huge proponent. I'm using that word correct. Cut that out. It's not used correctly.
I mean, we run with a chance.
Okay. It's a huge factor to life, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I mean, and definitely now, and like the generation coming up, and most of the people out here now, it's like, what can I do now? Give me the instant hit and everything else. I need the dopamine now, or it's like we're wired differently, and it's like, I wonder why they keep seeing us keep going and going. It's because we don't need the intention and all that stuff now. It's like, no, we're waiting for it. In the long run, we know it's going to be even better. And I think a lot of the people nowadays don't have that. And that's the biggest problem. They just want to see the quick clip and everything else. Let me get the highlight reel. Let me get the views. Let me get all this. And it's like, well, you know, if you play the long game, it actually works out a lot better, because then you can actually strategize all this stuff out, per se.
Plan it to the end.
Mm-hmm. We ain't here for the long haul, bro. It's like, that's what I'm saying. It's like, yeah, if something blows up now for me, it's like it blows up, but it still doesn't mean I hadn't
learned something
about the next 5 years. And
you might learn something from that blow up, though.
Mm-hmm. Just like, because I mean, I've studied the social media, the algorithms, and all the people posting the reels and stuff like that. And I'm like, I'm not worried about playing these games. I'm like, I know in the long run, though, it's like, I'm still going to be here because I'm being just consistent. It might not be the best consistency and what everybody else wants, but it plays a big role in it. Like, y'all on social media, like, I want to get to that point where I'm making the post like y'all do and everything else, but it's like, it takes a lot of work to get to that point.
It's a lot of planning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, being able to see the backside of it and everything else, like y'all actually planning out those days and stuff like that, it's like, I definitely need to do stuff like that as well, and I definitely want to. Because, I mean, it's not like I'm not 3 or 4 drops ahead on clothing and stuff. So I can definitely get there at some point.
Well, there's this really good book. If you haven't read it, I got it on the bookshelf back there, called Jab, Jab, Right Hook.
Yes.
You read that?
I have not finished it. I did start it, and then life happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hadn't picked it back up, but I've been more in my Bible this year than just any other book and stuff. So it's definitely on my laundry list to get back into. It's like I made it like a quarter of the way in or something like that, and I was really enjoying it. But I did see that in the trunk like one day when I was cleaning your car or something like that. I'm just like,
Yeah, you need to finish that book. It's by, if for anyone who doesn't know, it's by Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V.
Gary V.
Yeah, so it's a great marketing book.
Yeah, most definitely. And I really enjoyed it because it's like being in a noisy world and everything else, how to stand out in it. And there's something on the book. I think it's something like that on the front of the book or something like that too. But yeah, I really enjoyed it and everything else. I took a little bit of that advice and stuff. And it's like, what was that, 2021 or something like that. I linked up with my boy Jacob, and I went for a good like 6 month span where I posted 5 days a week for 6 months straight, and my account went from like 1,000 something followers, like where I'm at now, like almost 7,000 something like that on my.
Are we talking about TikTok?
GrindSZN.
The GrindSZN page itself. So Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I took some of it. It actually works, and that's what I tell people is like, don't worry about what everybody else says, what time you need to post. Just post at a consistent time. And that's what I did for like 6 months. And it blew up the page. It worked. I got in some algorithms and stuff like that or something because people was out here just following. I was getting 100 likes a picture and stuff. And I'm just like, who, me?
Have you gotten to the point where Facebook or Instagram is paying, Meta, I think it's called now. Have you gotten to the point where Meta's paying you?
Yes, I haven't finished filling out all this stuff.
Matt, finish filling it out.
I know. I'm really about to lock in. That's what I've been. That's what the end of the year has been. Me locking back in and actually starting to schedule stuff back out and getting stuff like that done. Getting back into the ball of things. I'm like, when I fell out of everything.
Yeah,
and that was one of the things that sucked because it's like I was so far ahead of GrindSZN and everything else. It's like, man, Matt, you just be here chilling, but then I see everything on social media, and it's just like, you doing all this and this and this and this, and I'm like, yeah, because I mean, I did that like 2 months ago. That's why I'm just right here chilling right now, and you're just now seeing it because I was just that many steps ahead, and I'm trying to get back up here like I'm playing chess again. I'm trying to be like that again.
Yeah.
On things like.
So, what would you say is your biggest takeaway that you've gotten so far from being in the fitness world?
Biggest thing is it's like I feel like Ruck said it best when we were at the actual Arnold this year. It's like hang around and everything else. The more you're around, you'll see the same people around, and the ones that are here to stay will stay. The ones that just come by overnight will be gone. So don't worry about it. It's like just the ones you see all the time at the different events and stuff like that. It just all over the place. You'll see around because they're actual real and stuff like that. So you ain't got to worry about, oh yeah, having a long conversation with all these people. But it's like after a while, you're going to be able to slowly
see who the real ones are that are staying in it long term and all that good stuff. Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, definitely that. And it's like, don't get worked up because somebody else is blowing up doing something you're doing and stuff like that. So you don't have to get jealous of them and stuff like, yeah, you might have been doing it first, but so many of the people in the field and stuff like that will come by over day and then out by night and stuff like that once something comes out about, oh, they've been doing this the whole time, taking advantage of these people and all this and stuff. And it's like, the real one's going to stay around because, I mean, even with me just in the small environment like the borough area, Nashville area, it's like the ones I met at the beginning, I've seen a lot of them still around. And it's like, man, how you know all these people? I'm like, well, I met them at like the first event I went to, and all the events we've done since then, they've been the same group of people that's always been around. It's like they're not giving up. They're still staying strong with it and stuff like that. So I would say that's what been like the biggest thing, the biggest takeaway for me from it so far.
Yeah. What would you say is your number one, if someone was wanting to get into fitness, athletics, anything like that, what do you think is the number one most important thing for that individual?
The most important thing for somebody trying to get into it is to hop into it. Don't worry about going to all the humongous events and everything else like your first year. I would say, like, just go to your local gyms, events, and stuff like that. Meet some of your local companies because they might surprise you with how many people they actually know already, too, because they've been doing these events. Like, me working with
network in a
ambition.
small environment before going to a bigger environment.
Yeah, so you don't have to be overwhelmed with like the Arnold and everything else. Like that environment in itself, if you, it's a different environment. Like being there at it and everything else for my first time, it's like I already loved the environment of being at fitness events, but it's on a whole nother level.
Yeah.
When you're there and stuff like that, and it was like something that was just like, wow, this is shell shocking, and it's like I didn't even fully get to experience it to a certain extent, like going around just seeing what was all there, even though I still got to go in a lot of the different things and stuff like that. Shout out to Rook, but it was just like, it's overwhelming, but it will instantly just full on. If you want to be in it, you'll definitely want to be in it after that point. But just start small with it and go to those. And like, you can hop in with those small businesses, like helping out and stuff. Like I went in with Tyler and Ambition, and I slowly was like, hey, we're starting this thing. My boy Dave told me about it. I'm like, all right, I'll give it a shot. I already love fitness. I got my own business, but right now it can take the back seat. And that's what a lot of things people got to do. It's like, yeah, you can build your own brand, tell them about it up front, but also make it take the back seat and just learn the ropes. Like I didn't promote my business. I didn't say anything about my business besides when I first got accepted into the group. And he asked us like, hey, does anybody want to go to these events? And that right there is like what sets you apart from everybody else. Like if you go to those events and go to those pop-ups, you'll never know who you might meet at those events. Because it's like they had a charity event that he was taking part in at Murfreesboro. I got to meet Beast Mode Jones. I got to meet Brandon Curry.
Dude, Brandon Curry is a monster.
That's the fam. Like at this point now, like that's the fam. He's got a GrindSZN shirt too.
Yeah?
Like yeah. We got him hooked up with one and stuff like that, and then, like I got to have him watch him have a conversation with somebody and stuff like that, and it's just like all these years I've heard so many great things about him, and like I actually got to witness it firsthand. One of those moments of him like actually talking to somebody and helping them through what was going on and stuff like that, getting ready for some football, and I felt like the dude wanted to quit or give up on it and everything else, and he completely changed his mind and got him ready back to go and stuff like that. And I'm just like a good dude right there, and I'm just like I'm happy to be known by him and everything else. It's like it's dope and everything like that, and also getting to meet him several times now, like being at the gym he'd be at and stuff like that, I would say.
Yeah.
So it was definitely one of the great things, and it was all because I said yes to coming to do a couple pop-ups though. Like that wrapping back around to what I was saying, it's like me saying yes to actually be a part of the
these
team.
Smaller networking fitness
Groups.
events.
Yeah, me doing that and everything else, I got to meet some of the people that everybody, dreams of meeting and stuff like that. And I got to be a part of one of their events they were putting on. Like hopping into those events and stuff like that. If you're a part of a team, like just show up. Because one, it makes the team look better and the business look better that's smaller too. And more people will want to have them back because you're already bringing your own energy and stuff like that. Like I'm going to have a good time. And the more people that I know that's a part of my team that's there, like we're going to have a good time regardless. It was going to be fun. It might not be the biggest thing ever, but come in, let's have a good time. And then more people are going to want you there.
Yeah.
And that right there is how you get that ball rolling. But doing that, it's like I got to meet so many people and so many things, but so many people in the group would never show up or do any of the events and stuff like that.
I mean, half the battle is showing up. Mm-hmm. If you can show up, you've already got halfway done on that battle.
Yeah, and I've definitely seen that and stuff like that, where it's like, man, it's like so many people missed out on this opportunity to like, one, were you really serious about being in the fitness industry? Or two is like, you just want to be a part of something to be a part of it. And that's what it was. Like, you knew how much clout type per se they have and stuff like that. So you just wanted to be a part of it. But like, why not take full advantage of this opportunity? And I don't understand why some people don't.
Ride the whole wave, not the short wave.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One boat rises, we all rise. So it's like, hop on, let's go. I'm like, you hop it in now, like, come on with it. So it was definitely a great opportunity. I should have grabbed me some water, but we good. We can
cut it and grab a water. I got some.
We good right now because I'm like, we're going to go ahead and we're almost an hour in and stuff like that, Chen. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I was just going to ask you my favorite question and everything else. Like I'm ending it with right now until I get this one other thing I want to do with people. But I want to say, what has been at the time your biggest setback, but ended up being one of your biggest blessings? I mean, I can go first if you want me to, because I mean, I didn't speak on it the last episode with Christian, Mr. Hell Yeah.
I'll let you go first because, yeah, you go first.
Okay, big bet. I'm like, me would say the first one was my meniscus and everything else that made me get back to the roots and really like sit down and learn. Watch as many videos about every different exercise, understand why people are doing it this way instead of that way. So I really got particular, like just down to the very nitty gritty of things and learned like, oh, okay, well, if I just tweak this just a little bit, this is going to hit this part of my tricep more than the other part of my tricep per se. So I got really down to the nitty gritty, and it's helped me a lot when people are like, oh, I just want to hit this more. And I'm like, well, just do it like this real quick. It's going to seem weird and awkward, but just do it this way a little bit more, and you'll really see the definition you want to see in that muscle. So I've learned how to really break down different body parts and stuff like that, and different ways to like, this is why bodybuilders do it like this, because it's like, I don't care about being stronger. I'm just trying to go for that look. Mm-hmm. So I got to see the look side of things, or if you were to build like more strength and stuff like that, just stick with this. But if you're actually going for just that look right here, you need to do this exact same thing right there. So that was one of the many ones I've had. And then also
your meniscus.
Yeah,
that's your bigger.
Tearing my meniscus and being out for 3 months. Like, I could barely walk and stuff like that. So it sucked at the time. And I'm like, man, I finally got back under 300 pounds at that time and stuff like that. So I was feeling like, oh, ain't nothing can stop me. We got the ball rolling.
Was this post meniscus or?
Yeah, this was
like during the 3 month period.
Like I'd blown back up after the 3 month period. Like I was back over 300 after that 3 month period being out. Like I had just, before I tore it, I had just got back under it. I was like 295 for the first time again. Yeah. I hadn't been that weight since like 8th grade. So this was like, a couple years after high school, like we said earlier, like 2018. So now we're back here again. I'm even lower than what I was then. And I'm slowly getting back close to that weight again, so it's really time to lock back in again.
Gotta get back on the grind. Mm-hmm. So mine, I tend to, I think, hold back any sort of downfalls. If I have a downfall, I try not to reminisce on it too much. Mm-hmm. So it's hard for me to even think of a shortcome on that part because I avoid it. But I'd say probably getting up to 207 pounds.
207. Mm-hmm.
I went about a year not being able to go to the gym.
Facts.
And it was hell on my mental health, to be honest.
Yeah. It definitely makes a difference. And I'm like, I know me being here and everything else, I know a lot more of it and everything else. So I definitely see it firsthand, and I know what you mean by that.
And that was the beginning of this year. I'd say probably I got up to 207 probably the first 3 months of this year. Mm-hmm. I slowly lost it over time. Mm-hmm. And then like August is whenever I really locked in. Oh, yeah. I haven't missed a gym day since August.
Most definitely. I mean,
and I've gone from 197 pounds down to 175. You can clap, but
I'm proud of you, dog.
I didn't even touch on my biggest win back in junior year. Mm-hmm. That 3 month period, I lost 50 pounds. Then. So it doesn't beat that, but it's just showing up though.
Mm-hmm. It is. It plays a big role in it and everything else, and it's like, that's where it starts with. If you can just show up, you've won half of the battle right there. Like you said.
Absolutely.
And it really makes a big difference. I know a lot of people, I'm like, look, I know y'all are depending on me, but you got to show up for yourself first. You got to do a lot of the basic work behind the scenes before I can make a big difference with you. Like, weights is just a little small part of what it takes. Like, if you don't lock in with the diet part of things, you can lift all the weight you want to. It's not going to make that much of a difference. Yes, there will be a difference and stuff like that. Like, look how big I look. But I know my diet is the biggest part I got to lock back into. So I can definitely get down with you on that one. And I'm proud of how far you've come back. I mean, it shows resilience. A lot of resilience over the last couple of years and stuff like that. And I'm definitely proud of you, dog, on that one.
I'm proud of everything you've built so far, Matt.
Hey, it ain't been easy. Just like it ain't been easy for you. And a couple of them phone calls called me, scared me away from real estate. I can't cap because you've handled them better than I would have handled them. And I'm the nice person that everybody just loves and stuff like that. And they're just like, I can complain about everything to Matt. I'm just like, I don't know about that. But with that said, and with that being said, we out of here. God bless.
Oh,
Just like that.
that was a good